chapter 291 of Shrimadbhagavatam, Sankhya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. In the beginning, Brahman was and nothing else. Brahman, the soul of all souls, the Lord of Prakriti, the cause and the effect blended into one. He was the seer, and in the beginning there was nothing to be seen. The Brahman was self-luminous. Prakriti was in him. The power to manifest himself was in him. In the beginning, the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, were perfectly balanced. They were in equilibrium. Another powerful aspect of the Brahman is Kala, time. Now, because of the passage of time, the balance in the gunas was upset, disturbed. There was a throb of unrest, and this disturbance had in it the germ of creation. The power because of which the Purusha creates the universe is called Prakriti, the active aspect of the Brahman, which is all consciousness, awareness. This consciousness manifested itself in the form of the universe, ruled by the three gunas and their sway. The original soul, the universal spirit, altered its appearance, meaning it became the cause as well as the effect, the seer as well as the seen, the doer as well as the deed. The disturbance in the equilibriums of the gunas was the cause of the manifestation of Prakriti. Out of Prakriti was evolved the Mahat Tattva. Mahat is all light. It swallowed the darkness which had enveloped everything during the great annihilation, the great deluge during the previous kalpa. The Mahat Tattva became transformed into the Aham Tattva. Aham Tattva is Kriya Shakti, the power of action. Aham Tattva is seen to have three aspects: Satvik Aham Tattva, Satvik Aham Tattva, which is also called Vaikarika, Rajas Aham Tattva, which is also called Taijasa, Tamasa Aham Tattva, which is called Tamasa. Out of the Satvik Aham Tattva is born the mind, Manas. Out of the Rajasic Aham Tattva are born the Indriyas, the sense organs. Out of the Tamasic Aham Tattva are born the five Mahabhutas. The essential features of the Aham Tattva are again three: Karya, action itself, because of the Tamasic aspect; Kartrutva, the power of becoming the performer of action as a result of the Sattvic aspect; Karanatva, causing the performance of action which is the result of the Rajasic aspect; peace, which is Shanti; anger, which goes by the name Raudra; ignorance, which is named Avidya, are again three more characteristics of Sattva, Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic Aham Tattvas. Because of the Sattvic Aham Tattva, the mind begins to function. The power to think is there, and out of it are born perception and desire. The Karmendriyas, the organs of action, and the Jnanendriyas, the organs of perception, are born of the Rajasic Aham Tattva. Out of the Tamasic Aham Tattva are born the Mahabhutas, the elements, the Tanmatras. The first is the Shabda Tanmatra, sound, the subtlest of the five. In association with it is born Akasha, the sky, ether. Ether conducts sound, and it is like sound, all pervading. Sparsha Tanmatra occurs next, the sense of touch, and in association with it, Vayu, the air, which again permeates everything. Sparsha has in it the quality of Shabda also. Vayu conveys sound as well as touch, both these sensations. Incidentally, the air is slightly more tangible than the ether, and to that extent it is grosser than ether. Then is formed Rupa Tanmatra, what can be perceived since it will have a form. With this Tanmatra in association with it was born fire or light. Rupa Tanmatra has three qualities now: Shabda, Sparsha and Rupa. It is evidently more gross than air, more tangible. The next Tanmatra to be formed is Rasa Tanmatra, and complementary to it, water. Water has four qualities: Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa and Rasa. The last and the grossest of them all is formed last, Gandha Tanmatra. The sense of smell, and with it is born the earth. The earth has all the five qualities in it: Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa and Gandha. Prakriti is also known as the Saguna Brahman, as against the Nirguna Brahman, which is the Brahman in the absolute form. The power underlying the five Mahabhutas is collectively known as Dravya Shakti. The power lying in the Indriyas is known collectively as Kriya Shakti, and the power of Prakriti and the Ishvara presiding over these is known as Jnana Shakti. Prakriti is made up of Prithvi, earth; Ap, water; Tejas, fire or light; Vayu, air; Akasha, ether or sky, together called the five Mahabhutas. The five Tanmatras are Gandha, smell; Rasa, taste; Rupa, sight; Sparsha, touch; Shabda, sound. The corresponding Indriyas are Shrotra, ears; Tvak, skin; Chakshus, eyes; Rasana, tongue; Grahana, nose. The Karmendriyas are Vak, speech; Pani, hands; Padam, foot; Upastham, generative organ; Payu, excretory organ. The Antakarana is of four kinds: Manas, Buddhi, Ahamkara and Chitta. These 24 features, namely the five Mahabhutas, the five Tanmatras, the five Indriyas, the five Karmendriyas, along with the four Antakaranas, comprise the Saguna Brahman. Kala, time, is considered as the 25th feature. Some thinkers deem Kala to be that ultimate end of which men are frightened. Men who are ignorant of the glory of Ishvara and who are caught up in the web spun by Prakriti. Men who are deluded by the ego which manifests itself and becomes all powerful. Ishvara, who is without the gunas, who is the cause of the manifestation of Prakriti, is the 25th feature. With his Maya and with the help of Kala, Ishvara inhabits every living and every created being. The living beings as Purusha and the outside as Kala, which is the end of everything and the beginning too. The supreme aspect of the Antakarana is reflected in the Mahat Tattva, which is all light. Purusha is ever found in the Mahat. This is to be worshipped as Vasudeva, the highest Purusha. Ananta, the thousand-headed who pervades the Bhutas, the Manas and the Indriyas, has to be worshipped as Sankarshana in the Aham Tattva. Sankarshana has to be worshipped since he is the Ahankara in its absolute form, the ego before any transformation takes place. Manas Tattva is the power of thinking, particularly in the field of feelings, kama or desire, likes and dislikes, mental bondage and similar feelings. This aspect of Aham Tattva is worshipped as Aniruddha, dark and charming like the blue lotus flowering during the season autumn, when the skies are blue and not marred by the rain-bearing clouds. Chitta is the buddhi which functions through the brain of created beings. This is more intellectual than emotional, and Pradyumna is the form in which Chitta is worshipped. The Adish Tata, the controlling power of the Mahat Tattva, which is worshipped as Vasudeva, is Kshetrajna. For Ahankara, worshipped as Sankarshana, the Adishtata is Rudra. Chandra is the Adishtata for Manas, which is worshipped as Aniruddha, while Brahman is the Adishtata for the Chitta or Buddhi, which is worshipped as Pradyumna. Vasudeva is also said to represent the Vishwa, Sankarshana the Taijasa. Pradyumna the Prajna, and Anuruddha the Turiya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Krishnarpanamast. Chapter 292 of Shrimad Bhagavatam, the first Avatara Purusha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Prakriti, made up of its many components, was in the beginning not able to become a comprehensive whole. Kala, which is destructive, karma, which is the cause of the cycle of births, and the gunas, which are the natural and essential factors of the process of creation, were all together but all apart. The conglomeration formed an inert egg which goes by the name Brahmanda. This egg stayed in the waters for thousands of years. When the period of hibernation was at an end, several openings were formed in the egg one by one. The mouth opened first, and Vak entered it, and along with it Agni, fire, which holds sway over Vak. The nostrils opened, the sense of smell entered them, and along with it entered Vayu, the patron of the sense of smell. The eyes opened, and the sense of sight entered them, and with this entered Surya, the sun. The ears opened, and the sense of sound, and with it the quarters, Diks, entered them. The skin became alive, and the sense of touch was carried to it by the Oshadhis. The hands emerged, and strength came to them, given by Indra. The feet emerged, movement came to them, and Vishnu entered them. The veins were formed, and the rivers entered them. The stomach was formed, and with it hunger and thirst. The sea then entered it. The heart was formed, and the mind emerged out of it, and Chandra became the guardian deity. Buddhi emerged, and with it Brahma. Ahankara was the next to make its appearance, and with it Rudra. And yet all these lesser gods were not able to bring to life the Brahmanda. The Vairaja Purusha, as he is called, who pervaded the Brahmanda, was sleeping, and he could not be awakened. The gods prayed to the Brahman. The Kshetragna, who is the Purusha, entered the heart of the Vairaja Purusha, the heart where Chitta is located. Chaitanya made its appearance, and the Vairaja Purusha then rose out of the waters. Om Sahasra Sirsha Purushah Sahasraksha Sahasrapad Sabhumim Vishwato Vritva Atyadhishta Dashangulam Purusha Evedam Sarvam Yadbhudam Yaccha Bhavyam Utamrtatva Seshano Yadhannenati Rohati Ethavanasya Mahimo Ato Jayamscha Purushaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Chapter 293 of Shrimad Bhagavatam, the Virat Purusha as described by the Vedas. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Purusha entered the waters which formed the contents of the Brahmanda, and he was resplendent as Narayana reclining on the thousand-headed Adisesha. Out of his navel rose an immense lotus. This was the seat of Brahma, who had been commanded by the Lord to begin the task of creation. The Virat, the Hiranyagarbha, which is the embryo of creation, and the Purusha himself, who pervades it all, should all be the objects of dharana during the Ashtanga Yoga. The Virat Purusha is the form of the Bhagavan, which is all comprehensive. Prithvi, Aap, Tejas, Vayu, Akasha, Aham Tattva, and the Mahat Tattva form the 7 sheaths, the Avaranas of the Vairaja Purusha, who resides in the Brahmanda. He is the soul pervading the Hiranyagarbha, as he is called. This universal form of the Purusha should be the object of meditation. The souls of the Virat Purusha form the Patala Loka. Rasathala forms his insteps and Mahatala forms his heels. His ankles are fashioned by Tala, so say the Vedas. His two knees cover the Sutala. Vithala and Athala are his thighs. Bhuthala is said to be the back of his waist. The sky is the navel of the Virat Purusha, so the Vedas say. Swarga, which is a cluster of celestial fires, is the chest of the Virat Purusha. Maharloka is his chest and Jana his face. The Vedas say that Tapoloka is but his forehead and Satyaloka his myriad heads. The Devas led by Indra are his arms and the quarters his ears. The Ashwini twins are his nostrils and Agni his mouth, so say the Vedas. The Antariksha with the sun and the moon are his eyes. The night and day form his eyelashes. The Brahmaloka is but lifting of his eyebrows. Water forms his palate. The Vedas are his head. Yama forms his molars, and the emotions are his teeth. Maya, which deludes man, is his smile, and glance from his eyes causes the entire creation. His upper lip is bashfulness, and the lower avarice. In his chest is lodged Dharma. The ocean is his stomach, and the mountains form his bones. His veins, the Vedas say, are the rivers, and the trees, the hair on his body. Time is his stride, and his breath is Vayu. The samsara, the universe, is the play of the Lord. The clouds make up his locks, and the evening his clothing. The unknown, the avyakta, is his heart, and Chandra his mind. His chitta is the Mahat, Rudra is his ahankara, Yagna is his action. In short, even as the consciousness in man creates the world of dreams, and itself becomes every object which makes up the world of dreams, even so Bhagavan Narayana, the Purusha, is the soul of everything in the universe. Falashruti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This mantra is enough to destroy all the many ills that visits man. Like the sun which dispels darkness, like the breeze which scatters dense clouds, which have gathered in abundance in the pure blue sky, this mantra dispels the sorrows and ignorance in the mind of man. He who dwells on the stories of the Lord, even for a moment, who relates the stories to others, who listens to the stories as often as he can, is assured of his Atman becoming cleansed, purified. One who studies the Bhagavata Purana on Ekadashi or Dwadashi will be absolved of all sins. The Bhagavata had been taught by the Lord himself to Brahma, born of the lotus. Vairagya, which is detachment, and Bhakti, which is devotion, form the main theme of the entire narration. Bhagavata is the quintessence of the Vedas. It is the pathway to the Brahman, and it has no equal in the entire range of holy books. Even as Ganga is the best among the rivers, like Vishnu among the gods, like Varanasi among the Punya Kshetras, holy cities, even so, the Bhagavata is the greatest among books. It is considered the greatest since it purifies man of all sins, and the man who studies it with bhakti will soon be rid of this painful bondage by name samsara. Bhagavata kindles in man bhakti for the Lord. Out of bhakti is born vairagya, and vairagya leads to gnana, realization, or the self, atma gnana. The truth is called the Brahman by the Upanishads, Paramatma or Ishvara by the Sankhyans, and Bhagavan by Bhaktas. That truth can be realized by the study of the Bhagavata Purana, the light which will forever dispel the darkness called avidya. Salutations to him whom Brahma, Varuna, Indra, the Rudras and the Maruts praise with sacred hymns. They praise with the help of the Vedas and the many branches of the Vedas and the Upanishads, whom the some Vedins praise with their musical recitations, whom the yogis are able to perceive by intense meditation and by training their minds steadily on him, whom neither the Devas nor the Asuras are able to realize in his true form. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. With this, the holy book of Shrimadbhagavatam comes to an end. Thanks for giving me company in the journey of reciting the holy Shrimadbhagavatam. Shri Krishnarpanamastu.